Hello, good to see you. I'm Blair Jacobs. Welcome once again to the Business Lounge, where my guest today is Claire Stockton of the Echoes Foundation. Tell me first of all, Claire, about the foundation, why you set it up, what it all does.
So the Echoes Foundation was set up by myself in June 2008. I first had the idea in March of the same year, and basically I did it because my little boy is severely disabled, is in a wheelchair. He doesn't talk, he doesn't walk, he doesn't eat properly. So yeah, it was pretty tough when we first sort of found out. We didn't actually have confirmation until he was 7 months old of 2009. And basically we just was devastated, and I expected everything to be sort of there for us, you know, this far on in sort of, you know, technology and everything, and just, you know, the age and stuff. I thought, well, I'll be fine, there'll be things out there for him, everything will be fine. And then it wasn't, and that was really difficult. So as well as coming to terms with his disability and how our life had completely changed around, I then had to start trawling the internet, trying to find ways of getting support, ways of trying to find services that I could get to help him, like music therapy, hydrotherapy. I didn't know anything about benefits, DLA, didn't know anything about blue badges, and, you know, so I just had this idea that wouldn't it be fantastic to have a centre that had everything under one roof. So if a family had just found out that they had a child that's got a disability, they could come and see us, access the services, speak to a parent that knows what it's like, and then be guided on that journey.
But you were coming to terms with the fact that your son was very poorly, and you also wanted to set up some form of centre, as you call it, as well. Didn't you have enough on your hands dealing with him?
I did have enough on my hands dealing with Finley's disability. Also working as an operating department practitioner within a hospital. I suppose in a way, for me, I did it to keep myself sane as well, and to also feel that I was actually doing something. I know I was looking after Finley, and Finley's got the most amazing quality of life and is loved, and, you know, is a very happy little boy despite his problems. And I do feel that Echoes, what I've done with Echoes, has improved me massively as a person, completely changed my perspective on life altogether. I used to worry about the most stupidest little things now. To other people, they'd be like, you know, like big things like, what am I going to wear tomorrow night? I'm going clubbing and all that sort of thing. And I'm just like, you know.
Tell me about how you started the whole ball rolling of Echoes.
I had no experience whatsoever in business, and I just sat down and I wrote about what I wanted to do and called it my business plan. And Michelle said, I'm going to speak to somebody who might be able to help you. The next breath, I'm in the Gypsyville Library, being shown around the top floor, having this meeting with Ian Holmes, and he said, would you be able to do anything with this? Well, I was like, what? You know, I couldn't believe that it was actually off. Obviously, I was going to have to pay for it, but it was, you know, really cheap. And that building, the sole purpose of that building is to be used for community use anyway, so it fitted in perfect with what they were aiming to do. So I took on one room, absolutely chuffed to bits where I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, I've been doing it at home and it was just taking over the house really, and the family day. So I started off in that room, had a computer, a desk. I begged, stole, borrowed really I just rang people, said, look, this is what I want to do. And people were really interested in what I was trying to do. The media, Look North Calendar, the whole Daily Mail, radio stations got a wind of what I was doing. A little bit of gentle persuasion from me, and they were interviewing me, they wanted to talk to me about it. Alan Johnson came on board right from day one, from when I first had the idea. Said, Claire, it's a fantastic idea, you know, plus I live in this constituency and he's helped me previously as well as my MP. Mm-hmm. So he came on, and that was brilliant, because that just gave me that little bit of a lift.
So you were taken seriously from the start?
Yeah. And I think a lot of the reason why that was possible was because I'd done a bit of fundraising for Finley previously to having that idea, so that I could afford for him to have the brainwave program and have the music therapy and have the hydrotherapy and have specialist equipment that wasn't available on the NHS and stuff like that. His room's was like painted. It was all landscape, free, you know, drawn and then painted in, and it's amazing. It's little farms and fields and little cars with Finley on, and it's great.
But how do you go? How do you go about? You set up the charity. You're in one room above the Gypsyville Library. You've already said you had to find the money to pay for that room as it was. Yeah. How do you go about fundraising in an age now where there are so many charities and so many people wanting handouts?
It's got a lot harder. It has definitely got a lot harder. How do I go about it? Well,
how did you go about it in the start?
Yeah, well, I got a lot of advice from Business Link to get things moving with the Echoes Foundation. But as regards as fundraising, I just used to think of crazy ideas about types of events to do. Like we did a fancy dress walk across the Humber Bridge, and we've done like black tie and bustier nights, and we did a carnival night, and lots, just thinking of weird and wacky things that people would think, oh, that looks good, I've never been to anything like that before, let's go. Then like smaller, like live bands in smaller venues as well, and you know, just, I don't know, people just came, and I think because of what it was for as well helped a lot, and plus the fact that it'd been in the papers, it'd been on the telly, and people were getting to know. It's branding. Even though I didn't know I was doing it, because I didn't have a clue what branding was, I was actually making a brand, and that brand is now well known. But
it's, I mean, it's ended up, you're not just doing this for Finley, are you? No. You're doing this for all children in a similar situation to him. You've got to get it right. I mean, what sort of research did you have to do to be able to know how to help Finley, how to help other kids?
I didn't know how to help other children. It's all through my experience with my own child, and that is what you learn as a mother of a disabled child. Obviously, I looked on the internet and found out about sensory rooms and music therapy, and I asked people, and I bought books, you know. That's how I researched it, but I didn't research how to look after or how to provide for the other children. It was all because of my own experience. And then I've just took it that step further. And then it's all grown and developed from feedback and advice and information that people have given me. I've just fed from that, and that is how it's grown. I've listened to people. How
quickly did it take for other parents to find out about you and contact you with similar situations? Well, in June 2008 I had 3 families. That was when we opened, and we have 158 now, so that's 2.5 years. And this was something that you couldn't find when Finley was born? There are centres that do have facilities, like a lot of them are just like nurseries or creches that have lots of different things, but for disabled children. But there's nothing in Hull. There are organisations that provide advice and support, but they don't also provide the alternative therapy, the parental support from another parent. Not just me, I've got other parents that also advise parents, and the network as well, which is great. The music therapy, the tap pack, and plus also we want a hydrotherapy pool. We do a lot of training. We do training courses. We're doing paediatric life support next week, and you just learn. We do a Nat Banyel, which is a therapy we've brought into the area from London, never been used in this area before, and that we've had some amazing results from that. So I've had a little boy that has cerebral palsy, is very stiff, and within about half an hour having the Nat Banyel therapy, is able to take steps, which is amazing. And it must make you feel so much better as well that you've actually made this happen. It's extremely, extremely rewarding. Where do you get your inspiration from to carry on like this? My son, really, and all the families. I couldn't not do this anymore. This is me now. This is my life. And but there must come a time sometimes when you think, I'm not sure I can do this. I'm drained. Yeah, I do have the odd time when I feel like that, and I do get drained, and I do get very tired because I do still work in the hospital as well. When you step back and you actually look at what you've achieved and what you've done and what you're providing and the rewards that you get from that and what the families are gaining from it, I wouldn't leave it. What do you think has been your biggest success so far as the foundation is concerned? Biggest success? Oh, I don't know really, all of it. I don't really think I can pick
one little thing. Personally, winning Woman of Achievement, that was for last year.
That's a pretty big
2010.
success.
Yeah. And then previously to that, I won Social Entrepreneur for 2009. So that's 2 awards, which I was, well, just so happy, so happy, because that's my payment, because obviously I'm a volunteer myself. I don't get paid for anything I do for Echo, so that is my payment, really, you know.
And what about you as a person? Has it changed you?
Yeah.
In what way?
I'm a lot more understanding of people's needs. I think I'm more sociable when you know, than I was, I think, because I obviously go to a lot more events. I do things like this, and which I never would have dreamed doing. I'm definitely a lot stronger, and I can multitask a lot better than ever before.
But the challenges continue.
The challenges do continue. The challenges with Finley continue constantly, and I mean, even in the next couple of months, we've got to go to hospital and have some pretty nasty tests done and stuff, and I'll have to deal with that. But I'll take him. We'll get it done. We'll get it over with. We'll get home, and then we'll move on.
And what about the foundation itself? I mean, in 5 years' time, if we were sitting here having this conversation, where would you like to be?
I'd like to be able to tell you that we've got our own building, and we're now in our own building. And we've got 350 families, 450 families, you know. So that would be the icing on the cake, to actually have our own building, and be providing a lot more services and facilities for the families.
You've talked about the fundraising and the fancy dress walk across the Humber Bridge and the various evenings that you've done.
Yeah.
Where else does your money come from for this?
Well, I started the charity, like I said, in June 2008. By June 2009, I'd actually set up a charity shop. I was very lucky that I did it when I did it, because you can't set up a shop with charitable funds once you're a registered charity. So it was just sheer luck that I managed to open the shop when I did. And we then used the profit from that shop to open another shop last year. So we've got 2 charity shops now, and all that revenue, every penny of it, comes to the Echoes Foundation. We also have set up a PAT testing business, portable appliance testing, and we are building on that at the moment. And the plan is to be able to target businesses and schools to let them know, hey, do you know, we're doing PAT testing now, and while you're paying for your PAT testing with us, which by the way is extremely cheap, you're also fulfilling your corporate responsibility.
Corporate social responsibility as well.
So, I mean, a lot.
You're a real entrepreneur when you think about it, aren't you? I mean, you're not just someone who set up a charity, as you tried to make out at the beginning of this. You're kind of doing everything to go about it.
Well, that's because it means everything to me. So yeah, I've got loads of ideas. I don't just because we're a charity doesn't mean you have to have charity shops. You can do anything, as long as all the profit comes to charity. So I've got loads of ideas that I'd like to have a little cafe. I'd like to maybe have a little charity bar. There's loads of things, so many ideas, and we've got lots of other projects as well. We're about halfway there to having a caravan on the East Yorkshire coast for all our families to have short breaks and respite. We've also got a mobile sensory equipment loan project as well, so that we can loan equipment to families that have got very poorly children at home, and we're working in partnership with the children's ward of the hospital to lend them equipment when they've got children in for more than a week. So yeah, all sorts going on.
You've got to keep you busy.
Mm.
Well, continued success with that, Claire.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for coming and joining me.
Thank
Claire
you.
Stockton of the Echoes Foundation, a truly inspirational story. Thank you for watching. Join me again when another guest joins me in the Business Lounge.